Struggling to get your Sovol Zero profiles into Orca Slicer, especially if you have other Sovol printers? You are not alone. In this video, I'll show you my workaround, and since the first of us are already receiving our Sovol Zeros and I've been asked to help, we'll dedicate this video not just to the Orca presets, but also other software setup. We'll even measure a few things some of you asked for, like input shaper resonance graphs and various heating speeds. We'll leave the physical leveling of the build plate to next time. It's a longer process. And yes, this is gerGO, and welcome to gerGO Print 3D, the YouTube channel about our adventures with Sovol and other 3D printers and even laser machines. Besides fun projects, comparisons and tests, I also aim to help the user community with tutorials like this. Just look at our back catalog. Translation-ready subtitles and chapter markers are part of all our videos, this one as well. In my previous video about the Zero, which you should definitely watch if you haven't yet, one of our conclusions was that the Sovol Zero is an ideal second printer. But if you already have one or more Sovol machines, importing the new Orca Slicer profiles can get tricky. I have a workaround which has helped a few already, so I'm now making it available if you need it. It would be nice if Sovol Zero presets were part of the latest version of Orca Slicer, but not even version 2.3 has this printer yet. Sovol's workaround is to provide you with the profile files, which they tell you where to copy in the folder structure of your computer. However, if you already have other Sovol machines, your existing customizations in your personal UpData section will override these newly added files, and the Zero won't show up in the printer selection dialog. Yes, you can delete your personalized Sovol settings in your UpData folder, but then you'll lose your customizations for your existing machines. At least this is what I struggled with when Sovol shared the new Zero presets with me, and apparently a few others are facing the same issue. My workaround was a bit of a work to create, but I basically made a complete duplicate of the Sovol presets under a slightly modified company name, Sovol 3D. I had to go inside every file and update all the internal references. Now this set of profiles includes the Zero. When adding these to your program files, if you search for Sovol, both groups of printers will show up in the printer selection, and one of the groups will have the Zero in it. So, if other methods failed you, you are welcome to try these. I've included this renamed profile set in my Zero improvement project on CODS 3D. Be sure to shut down Orca Slicer first, download the zip named Zero Orca with the highest version number, I might update it later, extract its content into the folder program files Orca Slicer resources/profiles on Windows, and probably a similar folder on Macs and Linux. I don't use anything Apple. And the next time you open Orca, the printer selection list will now include the Zero. I have also made a few minor upgrades to the software running on the printer itself. Really small ones this time, because Sovol is improving fast when it comes to firmware. In fact, be sure to check for OTA updates from time to time. I now have version 1.3.8 on mine. When we check if there is an update available, it will start installing it without further confirmation. So it is a good practice to download your most recent config files before checking, though they now make an automatic backup for us. Just look for the file printerbackup.cfg. Then you can use mergely to check what has changed, as discussed in my earlier video about the topic. The other welcome improvement I've noticed after the latest update is that the printer will prompt us to recalibrate the input shaper after the OTA update. Talking about input shaper calibration, here are the resonance graphs I got on my beta unit. First, they look funny because printer CFG has the resonance tests limited to a narrower frequency range. And yes, they are far from the advertised accelerations, but my desk is not the most stable. Besides, production devices can be very different from the beta unit I have. Side note, for some reason, the script calibrate shaper py did not have the execute permission in this version of the firmware. Once I gave it the permission, I was able to generate the graphs. Before we get into my config change recommendations though, please take a moment to reward us with a like and subscribe for similar content in the future. Thank you if you already did. After all the things Sovol provided us, I've also made a Sovol Zero compatible version of the utility macros I originally created for the SVO8. They add the missing shutdown command under Advanced on the mini screen. It will turn on the fans to cool down the nozzle below 70°C. It now also uses the curtain fan. Then shut down Klipper before prompting you to turn off the device. Using this will supposedly reduce the chance of eMMC corruption due to the interrupted memory card activities. Added the missing bed temperature setting under Prepare, and also the heat soak variant, which will also move the tool head near the bed, which was of course more important for the inductive probe of the SVO8. Added the missing Z height information during printing. It's now found under Tuning in case you need to check how far you are into a print on the mini screen itself. The last edit command will save your Z offset adjustment at the end of your print. Again, this is less crucial than on the SVO8 since I never needed to adjust Z offset on the Zero. Preprint calibrations have been spot on. Someone asked for a first layer test like this. Just look at it. But if you ever need to adjust the Z offset and want to save it, you can use this command. Just be sure to change your endprint G code to end_print_G. I put my macro collection in the same Sovol Zero improvement project on Cult3D, where the renamed Orca profiles are. If you decide to install, be sure to make a backup of all your config files. You can highlight all and download them directly from the main Sail interface, but only in your web browser. Download might not yet work on the device page of Orca. It's very easy to install my macros. You'll need to download the zip named gp3d-macro.zip with the highest version number and extract the file gp3d_macro.cfg into a temporary location on your computer. Then drag and drop the file over the machine page open in your browser or slicer. Finally, add the following include line to your printer CFG right below all other include lines. Opening bracket, include space gp3d_macro.cfg, closing bracket, and follow capitalizations. Don't forget to save and restart at this point unless you plan to follow my last two modifications before doing so. One, in macro CFG, I've changed the load filament temperature from 250 to 240 C. It just makes filament loading, unloading a tiny bit quicker, and 240 C is hot enough to load even high temp filaments. The other tiny change is in moonraker.conf, where I changed the default Autorender setting to true. If I forget to render, the next print overrides the time-lapse data of the previous. It's just safer if the printer automatically renders the video at the end of a print. This can only be problematic if you print really tall prints back to back before the printer gets to finish rendering all the frames of a long time lapse. But the limited build height and performant processor make this an unlikely issue. Unfortunately, every OTA update will clear all of these small mods, so you will need to re-add them from time to time. There you have it. These are all the software improvements I made to my Zero to make it more practical to use. I've also made a few other measurements for those who asked. This is the result of the probe accuracy test command. I think the range of 0.007 is pretty good. I measured that the boot time takes 42 seconds, a bit faster than my SVO8. A testament to the quality of the integrated controller board. I also measured heating speeds, which are also pretty good, especially the bed. It heats from a freezing cold room temperature to 60 C in just 17 seconds. 70 C for PETG in 21 seconds, 90C for ABS in 31 seconds, and even the top 120C is reached within a minute. That's extremely fast. Of course, it's a tiny bed and AC heating. Nozzle heat up is not as extreme, but still fast enough. 140C, just below melting point, in 37 seconds, 200C for PLA in exactly 1 minute, 250 Celsius in 85 seconds, 300 Celsius in 2 minutes, and the maximum 350 degrees in 3 minutes. There is no chamber heater, however, and just using the bed, it will take forever to heat the chamber. I might add a chamber heater in the long run, but for now, I'm using a regular hair dryer. With that, it took 2 minutes to heat the chamber by 20 degrees to 40 degrees, and 3.5 minutes to reach 50 degrees, though the bed itself wasn't able to maintain that temperature during printing. Without the hairdryer, the chamber temp stabilized at 42 degrees, 25 degrees over room temperature. This means in a better heated room or in the summer, you can expect to maintain 50 Celsius during ABS prints even without a dedicated chamber heater. Finally, I measured the bed temperatures on the surface of the bed after a few minutes of heat soaking. I don't have one of those fancy heat cameras, but according to my cheap digital thermometer, the center area does reach the set 60C. While some of the corners are a bit cooler, the very edges are much colder, so expect a bit of adhesion issues if you plan to utilize every square millimeter of the build area, or you might want to heat your bed a bit higher temperature. I hope you find these useful. If you do, I hope I earned your like. Let me know in the comments if there is anything else you would like me to measure. You can support us by using our affiliate links in the description below. We get a little commission without you paying extra. In fact, if you plan to shop from Sovol, Geek Buying, or AliExpress, using any of our links to go to these sites will register our involvement, even if you end up buying something other than the link was for. Just be sure not to use Honey or similar browser plugins because they replace our links with their own. A kind shout out to a new friend, Don, who became our newest and highest tier supporter to date on Ko-fi.com. Thank you to everyone, no matter how you chose to help our channel. It all means the world to us. These jumping frogs are an absolute hit with the kids. For the top half, with the colored eyes, we utilized our material changing printers, but the Zero turned out to be the perfect printer to produce replacement bottom halves, which seem to be consumables. If you haven't yet, be sure to watch our other videos about the Zero here, or this other playlist about multicolor printing, which will soon include a co-print upgrade for our Sovol printers as well. Until then, go print 3D, and thank you for watching yet another gerGO Print 3D video all the way to the end. Take care.